Excellent. So how are you?
Good. Nice to see you, man.
Great, great. How have you been keeping anyway during this pandemic?
It's been a trip, eh? It's been crazy. We've been going with the punches, figuring out how to keep making music and keep creating under the circumstances. When we were all locked down in our own apartments, it was really hard and we didn't know what to do with ourselves. Then we started, trying to make music in other ways, shapes and forms. How about you? How are you doing?
Yeah, been fine. I've been keeping myself busy with interviews and album reviews, but I just want to get back out there now and photograph and review concerts. That's what I'm missing so much.
For sure, man. I think all of our minds are focused on that same thing, especially everybody who's in the music world and music business. Just want to get back into venues and feeling some sound. It's a big benefit to actually have the band, and to have this, because we can get together and we can actually do some work. And all throughout this year, making a record and doing stuff on, for online rather than for on the road where we normally would. It's definitely helped us. Well, it's helped me a lot for sure. We're not just sitting at home killing time. Yeah, exactly.
Can we start at the beginning with how did you all meet? What music you grew up listening to?
Sure. For me, it's rock and roll from the start. I think I was 4 years old when my father handed over his Beatles collection, A to Z, and that got me hooked pretty fast. I really fell into the Beatles, and then on my own discovered Zeppelin and the Stones and the Kinks. And I'm a big fan of British rock and roll. Actually, that's I guess one of my big inspirations. And I played acoustic guitar first. That was when I was 4 or 5 years old. I picked up the acoustic, so I was also loving Bob Dylan and Joni Mitchell. So kind of melting in the two.
I had an older brother who was like the drummer. I'm the drummer in the band, and my older brother was the drummer, obviously. So growing up, he was there, 7-year difference, and he was into metal, So I was listening to Faith No More and Anthrax and Metallica and basically 80s metal and stuff like that, But rock and roll is always not too far away. So Zeppelin and Jimi Hendrix, listened to a lot of that as a teenager as well. When I met members of the band, kind of really took it a deeper dive, back into the 60s and the 70s, and discovered, basically the roots of rock and roll. But I really grew up, listening to heavier stuff and just being a little headbanger teenager. You know what I mean?
The rock and roll for me too, man. My father was quick to show me his Pink Floyd vinyls when I was a kid, but you always got to one up your parents. So I got into the AC/DC and the Ozzy Osbourne and the Motley Crue and all the heavy stuff, the heavy rock and roll, the dirty nasty.
Yeah, you're very lucky because with what you're saying about your parents, for me, my dad and my mother, they were into the 50s music. So I had to discover all the 70s music by myself. And I don't think that's fair. I think they should have had some sort of input. But one of the things I loved about the 70s and all that was when I came across it, I just fell in love with vinyl records. And I've never been one for CDs, but I just loved that grittiness with the records. And like you say, with the likes of Led Zeppelin and Black Sabbath and all that, you can't beat listening to that music on vinyl.
100%. We're with you, man. We each have very healthy record collections, and that's how we listen to music at home, for sure.
When you're not looking at one another, do you I'm going to take that record and have a listen without them knowing?
Do I steal his record collection? Is that what you're saying?
Swap. Sometimes it's more your kid that steals.
I have a 7-year-old who's obsessed with our vinyl collections as well. He actually has his own Instagram show where he talks about his favorite records, and he's the one who steals the records.
Only the colored vinyl.
I got a mate. I'm sure he's still got about 4 or 5 of my albums, because I keep going through my collection. I'm like, I remember having Let It Be Rock. Where's that gone? Where's this one gone? Where's my Accept albums? The Little Thieves.
Yeah, it's it's vinyl. It's not like it's sitting in your car on the floor.
Exactly. Or even like say now I'd come into the kitchen and make a coffee. He'd be ransacking. He'd be just taking as many things as he can, and then hiding them somewhere. So how did you all meet?
First of all, I do want to say hi from Tom, my other half, who's the guitarist. He couldn't make it because he had to get the kid from school, but he did say hello and to send his love. And so him and I met actually butt naked at a hippie festival. Basically, I was singing a Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young song around a bonfire. He sort of heard it, came running, opened up his guitar, and we ended up jamming all night. I think we didn't stop for like 12 hours of just, going through all our inspirations and jamming and really, really clicking and musically. And then we made our way to Montreal and met this dude. We were all hired, like the past reincarnation of the band, because we had another bass player at the time. So we were all hired to be a backup band for another act. And it was, so that's where we met, and the other act didn't really happen. It was like, it was a great way for us to meet. And the minute that the other singer was sort of out of the picture, we continued, It was a very organic flow, and we had a great time,
We were already just in the room, And the singer who we got hired to back, she was basically dropped from her label. And Leela is the best singer there is.
Oh, thanks.
So all she had to do was take 3 steps front and be the lead singer of a band. And we had already been jamming for a few months, and it was a good chemistry and synergy in the room.
Yeah.
Period of discovery. I was meeting, meeting new people and learning a lot of new music through these guys, and probably likewise. And it was kind of cool. I mean, at the time we were excited because like we were hired, but it was like, none of us really wanted to be hired. We all wanted to do our own thing. So
we wanted to have a band, exactly.
So it really just kind of worked out serendipitously.
Absolutely, yeah. And this guy comes from like the Arctic Circle.
Yeah, I moved to Montreal and started gigging around, and I was doing a gig in an art gallery, which happens to be owned by our manager.
Our
manager, who was then just a friend, and he's like, do you want to jam with another band? And obviously I'm a yes man, so I said yes.
And it was love at first sight as well.
We were looking for a bass player, and another one of those kind of like chance things, Our friend Ralph sees this guy, sweetest, you don't know him, but he's the sweetest guy around. And it only took like a quick jam, and he was in.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So when did you start learning to play drums?
I was young. I mean, because my older brother, he was in his teenage years, so he got his kit at like 13 years old. So I was like 6 is when there was really a drum set in my house. But I actually started on the drums when I was 4. I would go over to my neighbor's house and play with like the daughter, and her dad was like a real hippie. Like he was a real like 70s hippie, the long hair, and he had drums and gear there. And I would just go there every day, and he would let me play his guitar and let me play his drums. And he gifted me a drum set, which, my parents didn't let me keep it, but there was already that first drum kit in my house. I was like 5 or 6 years old. It was there for a few weeks, and we had to get rid of it. But so I guess I started like pretty young. Yeah. But my brother, he ended up getting like a job as a dishwasher, and he brought home a drum kit on his own, on his own dime. And my parents really couldn't do or say anything about it. And it was there. And, he grew up and joined modern society, and I kept on the drums,
Got stuck.
Well, What about learning to play bass? When did you first pick up?
I started on the guitar actually, and I had a lot of guitar playing friends. You know, we were basically just a band of guitars. And one of my friends told me, you know, and to this day it rings true. He said, if you play guitar, you're gonna stand in line, but if you play bass, you're gonna be in the band. And I listened to him. He's a wise man, my friend Darcy, great guitar player and great friend.
Oh,
And I
brilliant.
started when I was about 13, 14.
I always wanted to have a bass guitar when I was growing up, and my parents were like, "No, you're not having a bass guitar. If you're gonna have a guitar, you're gonna have a guitar." I was like, "I want a bass. I want to be Gene Simmons. I want to be."
Yeah.
I was like, "No, I want a bass guitar." So they went and bought me a normal guitar. So I took two of the pegs off. And they weren't happy about it because they said I destroyed it. But my argument about it was, well, if you'd bought me a bass, I wouldn't have taken pegs off it. I also had an acoustic just before they bought me the guitar, and I had an acoustic guitar, and I took the two of the pegs off that, and we were jamming in my parents' house because they were out, and my mate, he had a Kramer, and he was in the living room, and he had a little 10-watt amp, and my acoustic was more powerful that I had to go in the kitchen. So I was in the kitchen and I was still overpowering. So that was our first footsteps into forming a band.
Awesome.
You're a smart kid, Mike.
Yeah, it's all Gene Simmons' fault.
He was a great, he was great for the bass guitar, that man, honestly.
I forever. All I wanted was to be Gene. I was like, I'm Gene. They'd be like, what do you want for Christmas? I want a Gene Simmons poster. No, you're not having a Gene Simmons poster. I didn't go on that, but I did it myself. You recently released your first single off the new album. This Is Who We Are Now. I've got to be honest, it's on my playlist constantly. Right?
Awesome.
I absolutely love it. And
Thank you, man.
what was it like trying to record the album during COVID?
Yeah. Well, truthfully, we were recording half of the album. We were in Vancouver recording with Bob Rock, and that was in November of 2019. And we were booked to go back in March of 2020 to finish the album with Bob. So those first 4 days, right? 4 days of bliss that we had with Bob were absolutely incredible. You know, it was like a dream come true. You're working with the legend himself, you know, everything about the recording, the space we were at, the warehouse studio, the gear that was at our fingertips, you know, the expertise of Bob and his team were just mind blowing. So it was heaven, you know, and we're just like, when we left with that feeling of we're coming back in March. We can't wait to finish this. It's been so amazing. And then we get back to Montreal and boom, you know, the world explodes.
Yeah.
So that was a bummer, to say the least. It was very, very difficult to come to terms with. And at first, we were really considering just releasing the EP, like releasing the 6 songs we did with Bob and put it out and say, okay, this is done. Let's put it out. But we felt that we had some really strong contenders, that we didn't want to not include. We're really, like we said, we're lovers of vinyl, we're lovers of the A side, B side, and the concept album and the art, the art form.
Yeah.
And we believed in ourselves.
And we figured, well, let's try. We learned a lot from Bob. It was incredible to be a fly on the wall and watch him work. And it was daunting, I'll tell you that. We were definitely scared, terrified to try to replicate what he had done. But we're very fortunate to have, Dave has an incredible studio called the Freak Shop here in Montreal. We were able to use and record in after we got out of lockdown, of course. So that was, that's how that came about. And also we enlisted some incredible help. We had an amazing We had engineers from all over the world that helped with this. We worked with Vance Powell and with Nick Didia and with
Mike
Mike
Plotnikov.
Plotnikov. These are all incredible people that helped us, bring the album to the next level.
What was it actually like working with Bob Rock? Is he strict? Is he like laid back? Because like Rick Rubin, when you see him on the behind the scenes, he's like so laid back, you think he's stoned 3/4 of the time. So what was it like with Bob?
Well, his attitude is kind of laid back, but his presence is, he's kind of he's leading the show. So extremely attentive, very attuned to every aspect of what's happening in the room, though his focus is really on listening. So he is listening to the overall of the song.
Listening loudly.
Yeah,
Yes,
listening loudly, for
very
sure.
loud.
But he's got a team. So he's got his engineer who's running the computer, and he's got a guy who's kind of like technical for plugging and unplugging and doing that stuff. And his mind is really on music. So it's an interesting experience for us because I mean, every other, recording session that we've ever been a part of, it's kind of like the producer is wearing 10 hats, Bob to have his full attention and inspiration dedicated really just to guiding the vibe and our performances. It's really a cool way of working because, his ears is never distracted with anything else other than, what we're doing and how we're playing. So we all got a lot of attention, and he's not like how you said with Rick, laid back, chilled, stoned on the sofa. He's first in the morning, last out at night, really, really hardworking, really caring and compassionate. And, I think we expected less, but got a lot more. It was a tremendous experience, and he's a good, sweet man.
Really sweet.
We
nice,
became
That's
really
cool.
good friends, that's
Yeah.
for sure.
really, really nice guy. It's sometimes like we'd have to like turn around, like pinch ourselves saying, oh my God, we're working with Bob Rock. But then like the second later, he's a buddy. He's like, we're talking about inspirations and we speak the same rock and roll language. He's got an immense knowledge of music and, and was able to like pinpoint like what we were trying to do without even knowing what we were trying to do. Like he was just like, oh yeah, I hear that. I hear that wall of sound you guys are trying to create, just like this or just like that. And it just, it was like, oh wow, really cool. Awesome. Let's make it sound like that.
Did you pick his brains about some of the artists which he worked with? Because one of the big things about it was the Metallica Saint Anger album.
We didn't have to ask too many questions. He was all
You're forthcoming. He was
a lot of stories.
He had a lot of stories. Yeah. Because in between every kind of like overdub or in every break, it's like somebody's preparing our little, overdub, and he's just recanting some story about the guitar he bought from Richie Sambora, or recording drums with Tommy Lee, or all that type of stuff.
Or having to, what was it? The AC/DC had to like every time
reupholster the entire studio.
Reupholster the studio after an AC/DC session because they just wouldn't not smoke when they play.
And that place is all leather and wood, man. It ain't cheap, I can tell you. But AC/DC, they don't give a hoot.
Did I read somewhere that it's Bryan Adams' studio?
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah, it's called The Warehouse. Sorry?
Did he ever pop down?
No, he lives in London.
Does he?
Yeah, in the UK somewhere. Yeah.
Does he?
Yeah.
I have no idea. No,
smart man.
I'll go and stalk him.
Yeah.
I think he's focusing on his photography career right now.
Yeah.
Beautiful studio right in the heart of like downtown Vancouver.
Yeah.
Beautiful recording spaces, very big rooms, lots of incredible instruments and amps.
Mics.
And Bob's got his collection there too, because Bob prefers to work at that studio when he's in Canada, and he's got a studio in LA that he works at. And he's just really bouncing between those two places mainly. So it's like probably one of the nicest places in Canada. And Bob's got probably half his collection there. So, I mean,
that's an understatement. Like Leela got to sing on the Frank Sinatra mic.
Like, yeah.
Like his.
Yeah.
Not the same one.
Not the same model.
The exact mic that he had is the one.
You should have put it in your bag and pretend. It would have been well and truly gone. I would have been turning up with about 6 or 7 suitcases, just filling them up and all that, saying, oh, I'm
Not
not
enough,
well, I'll be
man.
back in the morning.
You needed an 18-wheeler to get all that
Oh.
gear.
We were sure we were gonna be back in March.
Yeah, true. We didn't know in hindsight.
I've listened to the new album. I've listened to it about 4 or 5 times now, and honestly, it's brilliant. And to be honest, for myself, it's like, where's this band been? Where have they been all my life?
Fuck yeah,
And,
thanks,
well,
man.
you go back then, and then you start listening to like the previous album, and then you're like, oh my god, that's brilliant. And
Thank
it's
you.
I've pre-ordered everything.
That's
Thank you
amazing,
so
man. Yeah, we
much,
saw your
man.
order come in, and yesterday, the day before yesterday.
You're so
Yeah.
kind. Thank you so
Yeah.
much. Your
Oh.
support means the world to us.
I can't
man.
wait to buy
Brilliant.
you a pint.
Yeah. or
Oh,
2 or
God,
7.
definitely. I love you for that. Yeah, you have to sign it for me.
Of course,
shall.
of course, we'd love to. Oh man, we
Um,
you know we've been like, this has been such a trip for us this last week, like having the music heard in front of, people have been, we're sitting on this album for a year, and now we're finally releasing it to the world and having such a wonderful reaction, and and hearing these things, it's really, really heartwarming, and we just cannot wait to come and play for you, because that's what
Oh.
we're all about. Like, we want to perform this music so badly.
Yeah, the
We
record
can't-
is just the tip of the iceberg.
We just can't wait. We're so excited to come to the UK, man. So excited.
How long did it take to write the songs between your last release and this one?
Well, I mean, we were touring pretty solidly from the moment we released Devilish Folks. So that was almost 4 years of nonstop touring, crisscrossing Canada, the US, Europe. And so the songs were born on the road. They were like, songs we would sing while we were in the van, and so then we would come and like have a little downtime, and we would, jam, and sometimes on sound checks we jam. So it was just like a process, and we wrote like, I don't know, 100 songs for this album.
Wrote a
Then
lot
we
of
cut it
songs.
down to 64, then we cut it down to 32, and then we made demos for all of those.
Yeah, then we let Bob help choose.
And there was also a period of time where we had made the connection with Bob, and we were ready at that point to go into studio, but it took like an extra almost a year and a half for Bob
Yeah.
to slot
have the
us in,
time.
Yeah.
So we ended up writing still another, 24 songs in that year and a half, where we were just basically waiting for our slots. I mean, it's a busy guy, and it's an incredible blessing to get into the studio, but getting that like timing for us to have our session took a long while of planning. So it just allowed us to write more and more and more. Though the single, this is who we are now. That was like the second song we wrote.
Yeah.
It's an absolute amazing song. I like I say, I've got it on my playlist. I think it's about on my playlist of 10. On Spotify. 5 of them are yours. So
That's awesome.
I've still got a long way to go. I've got about 3 playlists. I've got my extreme music taste in one playlist.
Okay.
Then I've got
Right, what's on the
songs-
extreme? Give us an example. What's on the extreme?
Cannibal Corpse,
Yeah, right on.
Mayhem.
Okay,
I was gonna say Slayer, so
Yeah.
pretty close.
awesome.
But I met Slayer. Oh, that was a dream come true meeting him.
Tom's a really nice man, eh?
Yeah. Oh, I was stood next to Kerry King, and I was like, well, why am I here? I shouldn't be here. And no, I was amazing. I met Dave Mustaine a couple of times.
Awesome.
Cool.
Awesome.
Yeah, the first time is I had on my sleeve, I've got Megadeth's album covers,
Hell
Awesome.
yes.
Right on.
and I said, "Can you sign underneath?" He said, "No, I'm not going to do that." And I thought, "Great, like that's a knockback." He said, "No, I give you my proper signature and go and get it done." So
Oh, that's
Great.
nice.
Cool.
yeah, brilliant.
That was
But
my first metal album, Megadeth.
No.
which one?
I can't remember. The one with the explosion on it. I can't remember the name though. It's like an atom bomb is exploding.
Yeah. Oh God.
I remember I put it in and I
Even
was
Countdown to Extinction. I don't know
Yeah,
if
I
that was the
think
name of the record, but
maybe, yeah, maybe. Oh man, I remember when I put it in, I'd never heard metal before, you know?
Yeah.
And I thought, did I make a mistake? And then 50 seconds into the song, I was like, oh fuck yeah. Oh fuck yeah.
My other playlist is all the music I grew up with. So like Paula Abdul.
Oh, right on.
So I think it's from Cannibal Corpse to Paula Abdul. It's
That's an extreme for you.
yeah. I put that on when I'm feeling down. I put that on and I'm just sat there crying, eating ice cream and all. I go, why did my first
Classic.
girlfriend marry me and all? So that's that playlist anyway. Touring. Have you made any plans yet?
We make them and we cancel them. I know.
Yeah.
We make them and the governments cancel them, and then we're waiting for the things to open up. But it's such a weird time, right? Like we're together now, and next week we might not be able to. Looks like
Yeah.
things are looking bad again, and lockdowns are happening again. We really hope it'll happen sooner than later. There will definitely be some streaming concerts for sure. That's the only thing that we can do. So we'll definitely be doing that.
Yeah.
The best way to, keep in touch with us, we'll let you know for sure. I mean, for your listeners, they can definitely hit us up on all our socials. We're everywhere all the time. We love, interacting with people. And so we're always there. We'll always let people know what's going on, what's up for sure.
I've got some news for you.
Yeah.
On my website and on my social media, this is the second year of doing it. We started a music and film awards, and we've done that because my website is to bring awareness to PTSD and mental illness, because that's what I got diagnosed with for my time in the military. So we set it up, and you've been nominated and chosen for 2 categories.
oh really?
That's wonderful.
That's amazing. Okay.
Thank you.
It's surprising. I was how many artists have taken to it, and it's just getting bigger and bigger, and there's more categories. Like I was sending trophies out, well, awards out to the Black Dahlia murder. So they put up on Instagram, they went, good God, this has just turned up on my door. So that was the first they heard about it. But we the reason why we do it, we try and get as many people to come to the website and come to the thing so they can learn more about PTSD, and that's why I do this thing. So yeah,
That's
you've been
amazing. Thank you.
nominated.
That's incredible.
So
Good on.
finally, before I let you go, when are we going to see you in the UK?
As soon as we can get on a plane.
I think it's all we've been talking about every day here, because
We're
you
trying
know?
to figure out who we can marry and just get the passports quicker and just move. That's really what we've been thinking about.
I'm definitely not the person for that, because I'm still mourning my very first girlfriend who who's my ice cream melts for her.
Oh,
So I sit there and I cry, and I can't marry you to give you a passport. Plus I've let my passport go.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
No,
but hopefully over the summer months there'll be some opportunities to perform. We'll just have to see how the UK kind of like unravels. Every part of the
Yeah.
world's a little different. You guys are a little further ahead, it seems, than a lot of
Yeah.
other places, vaccinations and stuff like that. In Europe, there's already concerts happening. So
Yeah.
if things start to become kind of sort of stabilized, then
We'll be there.
hopefully we'll be there in the summer, because
We'd love to.
that shit's happening. And
We'd love to.
Yeah.
We'll
I-
see.
I've got-
Yeah.
I'll be 100% honest with you. As a band, your music would be ideal for Glastonbury.
Oh my
Because
God.
That's our dream, man.
It's a
That-
wet dream,
that-
man. A wet
it gives-
dream.
Let's manifest it.
Yeah.
It gives me that late 60s, early 70s feel, and I would just love to see a band on stage, and I'm sat in a field wondering what the hell am I doing?
That
Because
sounds
honestly,
good to me too. Absolutely. Oh, man, we
Yeah.
can't wait for the day.
yeah,
Absolutely.
I really hope so. Anyway, this has been brilliant speaking to you, and
Thank
I
you
wish
for having us,
every
man.
success for the album.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Let's keep in touch, and we really, really appreciate you talking to us.
Definitely. I've had Peter worrying all week. He's like, "Oh, I can have your phone number just in case." I'm like, "All right, Peter, I'm gonna be there. Don't worry."
Yeah, well, we're grateful for Peter, that's for sure.
It's wonderful.
Peter's
Yeah.
amazing.
He's great.
I've heard of the band Sweet.
Of course,
Yeah,
of
of course.
course. We used
I
to
was-
we used to cover Ballroom Blitz.
That's our New Year's
was-
Eve song.
Yeah.
I was talking to Andy Scott the other week, and he turned around and said to me, he went, "Oh, we decided we're going to release, re-release an album, but with the new vocalists singing on it." He said, "I couldn't be bothered with all the shenanigans and all that." So I spoke to Pete, and he said, "Oh my God, I was all of a sudden I had 10 bloody Zoom interviews every single day." He was going, "I didn't expect this within one day. All this was all booked and all that." But and that's why Pete is a good man.
Oh, yes, absolutely. We are very, very lucky to have met
Yeah.
him in London when we played in the O2 Islington about a year and a
Yeah,
half
he
ago.
was
He was front
on
center
fire.
right there. We hung out, he's just wonderful. Such a great guy. So, it's one of those people that you're lucky that you have, like, you're lucky that you meet. It's destiny, and
Yeah.
go.
He's part of the family now.
That's it.
Yeah, he's a brilliant bloke.
Absolutely.
I get so much sent to me on a daily basis. It's fantastic. Because, like I
Wonderful.
say, I've only been doing the interviews for 12 months, and because prior to that, my PTSD was out of control, like so. But yeah, he's a good man. Anyway, I'm gonna let you go so you can go and do whatever you need to do if you've got more interviews and all that. And
Thank you so
keep in
much.
touch, and I'll speak to you soon.
Absolutely. We'd love that.
Yes. Much
Take
love,
care.
Michael.
Thank you.
All right, take care.
You too,
Cheers,
man.
man.
Rock
Talk
on,
soon.
brother.
Okay, bye.
Bye, man.